Hello, Mr. President. My name is Mick Foley. We've only met once. We are both members of the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2013. We had a very short conversation where you told me it was an excellent speech. You had your two sons next to you, 2 or 3. And I said, thank you, Mr. Trump. But since then, I've become a fairly constant critic, and I think I've had good reason to do that. But I believe if I'm going to have any credibility as a critic, I have to be willing to give credit where it's due, and you are due a lot of credit. I believe I'm going to be excoriated by people from the left and the right alike, but I have to take the chance. Now, I want to make it a point. This is not a joke. I'm not out here to sling one-liners at you, to call you names. I'm here to appeal to you as a human being, because only you can stop the madness that's going on in our country. I believe you are due a lot of credit when it comes to the Gaza ceasefire and peace plan. You deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. It's yours if you can stop the madness in this country, because you will not be given the Nobel Peace Prize if you are seen as inciting tension, terror, and if you are seen zip-tying children and senior citizens, abducting day laborers just looking to do an honest day's work. I don't want to use the word terror, but if people are terrified across wide swaths of the United States, in my opinion, that's terrorism. I know you're surrounded with some really bright people. We'll talk about Stephen Miller another time, but this is for an audience of 2. You, Mr. President, and your communications director, Stephen Cheung. Stephen Cheung, I know you're good with the one-liners. Let's face it, you got a lot to work with. You're the missing ear, missing teeth. Now, I know that you are a wrestling historian. And like you, I was the fat kid in school who grew up to be the fat guy. We both know what it was like to be teased on the playground as children. But I don't know what it was like to be you as a first-generation Chinese American. I imagine you went through some pretty tough stuff, but now you've become the bully that you used to despise. I'm 60 years old. I'm old enough to remember my parents driving me to JFK Airport to see the POWs from the Vietnam War come home, because my father, as a basketball coach, had coached Tiger Turner. Now, with all credit and admiration to those who protested the Vietnam War, many of whom cut their hair and became conservatives, that's not what turned the tide at home. What turned the tide is when the boys from the neighborhood started coming home in boxes. All of a sudden, it wasn't about a war over there. It wasn't a situation with them. It became a situation about us. It hit home to me because as of now, I know someone who has been affected. Not going to name names, but he's a big dude, tough dude, strong dude, married into an immigrant family. He came home to find that his mother-in-law was gone, taken off the street, deported. His father-in-law gone in about 5 days' time. He was told, do not post this on social media or we will go after your wife even quicker and deport her, despite the fact she's been in this country since he was 1 year old. They pay their taxes, not so much as a speeding ticket. They're active in their local community and their church. And despite that, their lives are shattered. Now, Mr. President, we're at a crossroads where it seems one of 2 things can happen in the future of our country. It appears to me as if you're trying to consolidate power, perhaps turn our country into something of an autocracy. And if it does, then you get to rewrite history and you get to be the hero. But if that does not happen, in my opinion, as someone who's worked in 50 states, 37 countries, been around the world a bunch of times, including 2 million miles in an automobile, in my opinion, history will not treat you kindly. But you and you alone have the ability to diffuse the tension, to stop the madness, to halt the terror. You, Mr. President, and you alone have the ability to bring peace to America. You alone, not Stephen Miller, not J.D. Vance, not Tom Homan, not Kristi Noem. You, Mr. President, the buck stops with you. Mr. President, I want to make it clear. This is something I'm doing on my own. I'm in a rented Airbnb in Nashville. There's no notes in front of me. There's no teleprompter. This is just me looking at the camera, speaking from my heart to you, a fellow human being, a fellow 2013 WWE Hall of Fame member. You and you alone, Mr. President, have the power to stop the madness. Thank you for watching, Mr. President. Thank you for listening. Thank you to whoever it was that brought this piece of video to your attention, because I know you're a very busy man. I don't believe it's going to make a difference, but I would love it if you would prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Mr. President.